All right, the deck. Staining the deck. So as you can see, I applied the first coat of stain, letting it dry. It's starting to look really good, man. I was having some questions about this color. This is the before, just the regular wood color, and we decided to go with a sun-dried oak color, the first coat. And at first, before you stir it, you got this green-looking stuff, and then when you look at the can, got the Cabot Gold. It's supposed to look this color. Now, when we first started this project, it wasn't looking nothing like that can. But as you can see now, it's looking quite like the can. So I'm definitely satisfied with Cabot, man. This Cabot Gold. Like I said, when I first put it on, this was a brand new deck, pretty much new wood. It was looking, and in certain areas it's a little darker, but that's okay. This is older wood anyway, and we pressure washed this whole deck. And so it was in good shape. We didn't really have to treat the wood or do any major, wood treatment process. No sanding. Like I said, it's a new deck, and I like it. I'm starting to really, especially with the sun now. As you can see, this is the unfinished part of the deck, regular wood versus the colored part. And I'm really. And this is the first coat. And I'm gonna tell you what, this stuff's a little pricey, man. This is like $50 a can. And I bought it from my favorite home improvement store. Went over there and got a good deal on it because I work for them. But I don't know. The guy told me they may discontinue that color. So I was like, oh, man. So I think we got enough. We already went through, 3 or 4 cans, and we bought about, 7 or 8 more. So I'm really hoping we can at least get 1 coat on it. I mean, ideally, to really get this thing to the way that I think it needs to be done, you're looking at probably 2 coats, man. Because as you can see, there are some... I didn't get all the cracks. I just wanted to coat it. So I'll probably have to I'm gonna come through with a brush or something. And kind of stick the brush in there. And it's a little time consuming to do it that way. But I didn't really want to spray it. I wasn't in the mood to cover the grass, and as you can see, got the little boat there. I wasn't in the mood to really do all that. So we're rolling it on and using a brush. But I tell you what, it's coming out really nice, man. It's really nice. I like it. I like it. So this is the work we've been doing, me and my beautiful lady, man. This, before we did all the mulching stuff, this was all, as you can see, grass, the whole 9. Needs I got to kind of fix the awning a little bit, straighten it up. But from where it was a few months ago, I think we've done some. I think it's looking really nice, man. It's a really nice deck. She was telling me there was a time when she first had this place, none of this greenery, this marshland was here. I mean, this would go right back up to the people's property, and she and her late husband would maintain their end of it, as well as the first set of neighbors, occupants in the neighborhood. Everybody maintained it, and so you could actually literally come out to your backyard and there was none of this. They said it was beautiful, man. And that's why they had the boat, and they'd go out here, and you can fish in here if you want to pull out, I don't know, some bass or something like that. I'm not into fishing like that. But as you can see, the sad part about this waterway right now is that's the highway. Now, from what I understand, Jacksonville they're supposed to put up a barrier, which would be the right thing to do. It would isolate the sound and hopefully keep that keep the pollution, because what is happening is people are throwing stuff out the windows, okay, out of the cars. Yep. And what's happening is there's an entry, a water entry, which is part of the drainage system. So the pollution, as you can see right there, is coming off the highway, down through the drainage, and into the little man-made lake here, or pond, or ravine, whatever you want to call it. And so, it's one thing to have the marsh growing. It makes it look kind of unkept, but that's at least that's nature. It's not too unmanageable. But when you start getting plastic bags and all this nonsense in here mixed in with that heavy marsh, grassy, I don't even know if you want to call it seaweed, whatever it's called, it starts to really look bad. And it's kind of sad, because it's a beautiful property and the animals enjoy it. As you can see, there's ducks and stuff over there. The turtles, they get trapped in there. They there's all kind of right now you can see the tadpoles. It's beautiful property, man. And I don't know. Eventually, man, if I had the time and the funds, I'd see what I could do to kind of. And I know you'd have to bring in some kind of heavy construction equipment, because that stuff is probably, down to the bottom of the water here, and rooted. It's rooted. Because I went out there a few times, and I was able to kind of maintain some surface level stuff, but that stuff, man, once you start chopping at it and clawing at it, it's heavy as hell. It's heavy. That's nothing to play with, man. That stuff's heavy. Because this little area right here was pretty much just like that knoll. And I called myself, I'm gonna get out here, man. Let me tell you something. That wore me out. That was a workout right there, buddy. It's good for you. And then you had to dispose of all the heavy grassy knoll stuff. So it's to get it where I think, I don't know if it'll ever happen, but I would love to get the heavy construction in here, or some type of treatment, safe for the environment, to just remove all that, so that it is just a nice crisp waterway right up to the people's yards here. But from what I understand, as time went on, whether they sold the homes or rented them, just neglect of the property. So we're trying to maintain and keep it rolling. But anyway, back to the deck. Beautiful property, beautiful. Working on it, trying to keep it functional and livable. And so far, man, like I said, I'm really, really excited about how this stain is actually starting to look like the can. I'm really impressed. And this is just one coat. But, so, I don't know. Depends on the resources. Trying to put 2 coats on it, whew, it's costly, man. I'm telling you, it's costly. So, we'll see how it turns out. If one coat, and see it, because once I fill in all the cracks, it may look a lot, I know it's going to look a lot better. Fill in the spaces. I might just put a sealer on it and call it a day. Wherever the stain really absorbed in, and maybe just touch it up. But trying to put 2 and 3 coats on it, which is ideally what you want to do. Put at least 2 coats on it, because the first coat is kind of like it adds the protective layer, but it's wood, so it's going to sink into the wood, it's going to absorb, and then you want another coat to really seal it properly. But I'll have to say, and I have to give it to Cabot, I came out this morning and the dew was collected on the wood, so it's definitely providing that protection. I am definitely pleased to see how well, the dew was collecting on the wood and it wasn't absorbed into the wood. So it's definitely a great product. But anyway, so when the project is finished, I want to share it with y'all to see what you think. Share it with everybody. I'm actually kind of enjoying the process, man. This may be a new venture of mine, man. Staying in decks. You know, the guy who built the deck, he didn't do a bad job, but he was that's a whole nother story, man. He was by himself. He made promises he couldn't keep. I did $1,000 worth of labor just to speed up the process, because it's for my lady. This is my lady's home, and this is where we pretty much stay. So I didn't mind contributing, but there's a lot of unfinished business, man, and he kind of ducked us, so that's a whole nother story though. And so there's a lot of the work that me and my lady have to kind of touch up on to kind of get it right. But other than that, the foundation and the bulk of it is completed. This right here, I'm gonna have to we're gonna grout. We're gonna use tile and create a tile kind of a bar here. I have to cut the tile, measure it, grout it, get that. That's a project that we have to do. But once the stain and all the final touches are put on the deck, this is a really, really, really good looking spot, man. It's resort-like. I mean, it's it's beautiful. It's a getaway from a getaway. Probably do some landscaping here. Just to kind of maintain the essence, the environment, and I'm gonna grab some new bird feeders. That's interesting to watch the birds and the squirrels. For the most part, squirrels are aggressive, so I'm gonna get them their own separate feeder. But some trees here, grapefruit trees. Last year they didn't yield, so we cut them all back, and they had a black mold on them. I don't think I talked to people about that, on the job, people who kind of know a little bit about the types of mold and stuff like that on trees. This is the grapefruit tree starting to blossom. I tell you, it's a pretty tree too. But you won't see any fruit, and the leaves are looking a lot healthier. They're real green, because this is a sign of as you can see, the black, some type of mold or fungus or something. And I wiped it down. People say, "Oh, you just used, degreaser," and so what we did is cut it down. So what I'll probably do, project number 2. Landscaping. I'm just going to wash this tree down probably with some degreaser, but I'm going to wash it from the stem now that I have access, because when this thing blossoms, you don't really have access to it. It's just all over the place. So we trimmed it all the way back. It's still alive. I fed it. I got some what did I get? I got some fertile, I don't know, this is like some kind of fruit tree fertilizer. Follow the instructions. Here it is right here, the citrus, avocado and mango fertilizer. Use a little bit of that, and I tell you what, it works. But that's a whole nother project, folks. Landscaping, man, really trying to, because there was a time when she said this thing would yield the most abundant, beautiful grapefruit you could ever eat. So I hopefully by November or December or January, something like that, it'll yield. But I really want to keep that fungus off, and you got to start it right here, I believe, and just maintain it, stay on top of it. Probably going to do some landscaping, probably some sod, probably till some of that, like this area right here. Probably we're gonna till this, level it down, and probably lay some sod. That's probably the best thing, because this is it's going to be too difficult to seed. mean, you can, but it'll be all over the place. It'll be sloppy, seeded, sodded. Sodded gives you more control over the area, the coverage. It's more controllable, and it'll root quicker, more evenly. So that's what's going on. The lady has approached. The beautiful lady herself has approached. She is walking the deck, looking beautiful as ever. It's liquid flux, Mr. Brown. I'm out.